All right, we just started. I see some folks coming on in here. Hi, everyone. It's so exciting to have you here. And we're thrilled because when we put this together, we were just going to do this as a training for a few folks as part of the launch program. But then we thought, hey, everybody kind of needs this. There's so much good stuff happening within the Canva platform. So for those I don't know, I'm Julie, the executive director over here at Ladies Who Launch. And this is Tish. Hi, Tish. Okay. So I'm just going to tee this up. In short, we did the virtual summit back in November. We had Canva actually participate. They ran a phenomenal session on building your brand, the importance of branding. So if you have not checked that out, I'm going to link it right after so that you can watch that session. But what we learned was that we really needed kind of a deep dive on the Canva platform. There's so much that you can do. Social posts, presentations, newsletters, podcast templates, like my goodness, they just get better and better. So with that, I just want to also caveat, we're not paid by Canva. We use Canva internally. We love it. It's a phenomenal women-owned business. Holla. So with that, we thought this would just be a really helpful 101 session to offer. So Tish is going to take it away from here. She does anything LWL you see, it's got Tish's eyes on it. So our designs, our colors, our palettes, etc. So she's really our mastermind. She lives, eats, breathes Canva. So I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to turn it over to you, Tish. Take it away, and I'll disappear. And I can't wait to learn myself.
Okay, awesome. So let me share my screen with you all. Here we go. Can everybody see it? Good?
I see it.
Okay, awesome, perfect.
And just a quick note, if you have questions, Tish is going to walk through. So if you have live questions related to what she wants, you can just pop them in the chat here. And I'm going to say hi. And then at the end, Tish will walk through any questions that come up that we didn't address, but we're going to try to get through a lot in this 45 minutes.
Okay, awesome, great. Thank you so much, Julie. So hello, everybody. Welcome. I'm really excited to share Canva with you because, as Julie said, we use it all day, every day. Prior to discovering Canva, I was always a little nervous about designing. And so Canva really kind of opened, the door for me to take bigger creative leaps. And so you are in the right place if you want to increase your brand awareness, connect with your customers, generate leads. If you're a small, scrappy team or solopreneur, if you have little to no design experience, but you still want to create beautiful graphics to use in your marketing materials. So it would be amazing if we all had full-time social media marketers and graphic designers, but we don't. And if you do want something a little bit deeper than this, because I'm kind of going to, do kind of the overview of the basics of Canva, we would love to hear from you, and we can potentially create something that goes a little bit deeper that's for the advanced users. But for today, you're going to be learning some dashboard and basic features. So we're going to get comfortable with all of the little intricacies of the dashboard and our panels, how to manage your brand, social media goals and must-haves, and how to create unique templates. So we're going to try to make the beautiful Canva templates our own, and we're also going to build from scratch. Okay, so let's go in. Before we get into all the branding stuff, I just want to do an overview of Canva. So hopefully you can still see it, yes? I don't know if I have a chat. I don't see anything in chat. Okay, great, awesome.
You can see it. I'm good on my side.
Perfect. Okay, so here on the left, this is what you're going to be greeted with when you sign in. So on the left, we're going to have this main navigation. So we have a drop down of all the templates. And so as you can see, Canva has so much to offer, mugs, brochures, business cards, Instagram story. And so for today, we're going to kind of live in the social media world because of our, that's just the way that marketing is today. We spend lots of times on Insta and Facebook and LinkedIn, so all that good stuff. They also have a features section. So if you click here, it'll take you to all the different resources that Canva has to offer. Okay, let's go here. And the learn section. So if you are new to Canva and you're like, this sounds awesome, I want to learn a little bit more about design, about marketing and trends and stuff like that, you can come here to this panel and then the plans. And so I'm going to click very quickly on plans, but first I'm going to quit my Slack. And so I'm going to click on plans. And so while Canva does provide a free version, I really suggest that you get the pro. And so it is going to be about $120 a year. And the reason why I think you should get the pro is because it unlocks the brand kit. And so if you want to create consistent, professional looking pieces for your business, they have to be on brand. And the best way to manage that is with the brand kit. It also unlocks 75 million stock photos and, tons of cloud storage you can share with your team. And again, we are not paid by Canva, even though I'm wondering if they do have an ambassadorship. That'd be really good to be a part of. But, we really do just absolutely love what it's been able to open the door, what it's been able to do. And it's really helped us create content on a, really massive scale on a very small and scrappy team. Okay, so here when you're on the main page, so we have this little guy, and then over here you can search for different templates, different, anything really. If I want to say stock photos, stickers, snack videos, you have the search bar here. We have our different profiles here. So as you can see, I'm a part of multiple teams. And down here, it's really, Canva really likes to give you the templates in every single form. So whether you want to click through here or you want to scroll, Canva has a method of creation for you. So as you can see, you can kind of scroll through templates. So Instagram, I just clicked on a Jolly Christmas and voila, it takes you there. So you can also, again, there we go, just immediately takes you to these spots. As you can see, I have a little heart there. So these are templates I love. And so when you're scrolling, if you want to, keep looking for inspiration, but you want to make sure that you keep things, just love it. Again, these are all of our designs here. So Instagram posts. And so it'll show you, not just all of your Instagram posts, it'll show you all of your designs. So let's go back to the home page. And we're going to go down here to this left bar. And so like I said, Canva really likes to have different options for you. So if you want all your designs, you can get it here as well. I really like to live on this side. And so I think the important, panels for you to note are the designs shared with you. So when your team does share graphics, they're going to populate in here, brand kit, and all your folders. And so before we get into brand kit, I want to create a folder because it's really important that you organize things right away, because I promise you it will get out of control. So let's go create folder, and I'm going to create Canva. Let's do Team Canva. Team Canva. And then you can either add your teammates, you can give them different levels of permission, or you could just create a folder here. And I'm going to star this, and voila, we have our very first folder. Okay, awesome. So now that we've kind of a general view of all the amazing things that Canva has to offer, the different templates, the features, let's go back to branding, because I really want to make sure that we are on the same page with our brand kit. It's so important. So why is branding so important? It's really the way that your customers connect with you. It's so much more than a logo. It's how people perceive you, your business. It's the feeling that they get. So when you're creating your brand, you really want to ask, how do you want people to see you? What vibe do you want them to have? And what story do you want to convey? So I really like 99 Designs definition. So your brand is the set of perceptions people have about your company, but branding is a set of actions you take to cultivate that brand. So I like to think of it as brand is a noun and branding is a verb. Okay, so I'm going to say on brand a lot, and that basically means that the different elements are consistent with or supportive of a particular brand or public image or identity. And so, what are the elements? So the elements that your brand kit is going to include going to be your logo, of course, header and body font. So I'm going to show you the different typography and where we're going to add that. A color palette, which is about 5 to 10 colors. Graphic devices such as icons and illustrations. And those will really work to enhance your communication and create a consistent look. And so when I think of strong branding, it's so funny that this one came to me, but I was thinking of Hot Topic. So when I was a kid, I really, really loved Hot Topic because I was very angsty, and I loved that they had all of my favorite punk shirts and hip hop shirts. And you know, the reason why I knew that that store was for me was because their messaging was very clear. They were edgy and they were subversive. Their icons were like skulls and, you know, different like, I don't know, anarchist symbols and silly stuff like that that I absolutely loved. And their color palette was really dark, you know, so they had blacks and reds. And if there was a pink, it wasn't gonna be a millennial pink. It was going to be like a hot pink. And so they had a very distinct point of view. And so from, you know, seeing them and seeing their brand consistently, I, as a teen, knew I'm feeling angsty, that's the store for me. So funny that I talked about Hot Topic today. Okay, so if you do not have a brand, no need to fear, because Canva has tons of resources. And so these will all be available for you in the, I was gonna say show notes, but in the webinar notes. So they have, again, the Learn panel, so many things, everything from color theory to basics of composition to, you know, again, typography, so many great things. There's also a color palette generator. So I do want to share this with you very quickly because it's awesome. So say you don't have a color palette, but you have an image that you really love. So make sure you have the image available and you just click on it, drag it in, and then Canva suggests a color palette for you. And they make it really easy for you to copy the color and paste it into their brand kit. So Canva just always trying to, you know, make things more intuitive and easy to use. Okay. So now that we have an idea of what a brand is, before I move on, I just want to make sure that we're clear on what a brand is and why a brand is important. So if I can get like a thumbs up or any questions in the chat box. I'm just going to pause for a sec. See a little Q&A.
Hey, Tish, there was a great question that just came in here real quick, and maybe we'll get to this.
Oh, chat is disabled. Thank you.
Interesting. Okay, well, I'll handle that. But Fiona asks, where would you suggest is the best place for work, corporate business templates? I find the templates that Canva offers much too cutesy. And so I think we're going to get into how to create maybe custom templates, but anything else as you're talking about brand of kind of how to find the best templates from the Canva platform for your brand.
That's in the next step for sure.
Great.
Okay. All right. So before we get into creating things, I apologize, this best practices is going to be a little cutesy, but that's really because, you know, my style is very bright and fun, and you will be able to find a version and a template that works for you. And I will show you like how to navigate the template section. But I just want to show you what a brand kit looks in real time, like when it is done really well and is consistent. And this also is a really great way of highlighting the different social media must-haves. So you must have a high quality profile photo. As you see here, it's sunshine, so everything is evocative of sunshine. They have different icons that feel very playful. There's a variety of graphics, and they're all really high quality. And so Canva, I will show you how to download the highest quality template. And if you scroll through, again, it's really clear who they are, what their vibe is. You know, they are a little cutesy. They're really fun. They, you know, girl power. They have a lot of really useful information. And so one of the trends in 2021, and that is a blog that you can actually find on Canva. So again, you know, really don't ignore that panel, the Learn panel. Explore it. But one of the trends is text forward media. So things like this, you know, little reminders, little quotes, anything really that is bite-sizable and shareable, you're going to want to, you know, you're going to want to create some of those and weave them into, you know, your product photography or whatever offering your business is focused on. So here it's a book club. So we have some books, quotes, all that good stuff. Okay, so let's go to their Facebook. So again, we have a high quality profile photo and we have a banner. And so banners are really important too. You want to have a high quality banner. It doesn't necessarily need to be your face. It just needs to be something that, you know, really channels your brand personality, that communicates what you're about and that works with your profile. So I think one of the best practices is to not put your logo everywhere. I think that you can, you know, through time and through consistent branding, you can really, you know, use the banners to highlight whether it's an event or a product photography or product launch. You can really use this strategically, this real estate. And so again, here it's consistent. And so the reason why consistency is so important is because, you know, after a while, I will know that, hey, Hello Sunshine is always going to have really fun book recommendations. And I know that this is their account. It's authentic. It's authenticated and it is authentic to who they are. And so after a while, your target audience will just come to trust you. Okay, so let's just review the social media must-haves. So on brand consistently, consistent profile photo, optimize for different platforms, high quality photos that reflect your brand, and a variety of content. Okay, so let's revisit on brand. So I've been talking about the brand kit. So how the heck do we upload our brand kit? Okay, so for LWL, we have this little one pager. And so this is just the basics. I think this is the bare bones brand kit. So it has, you know, your primary logos, mood board, color palette, fonts, graphic devices, and I have website elements here. So I will show you how to create a graphic like this a little bit later. Okay. So before I create the brand kit, I just see that there's some stuff going on. Oh no, okay. Okay, we're great, awesome. Okay, here. So even though we have our logo here, Canva's being silly. Even though we have our logo here, you're going to want to actually have the original logo on hand. So let's go to the brand kit. I'm gonna open my branding and I'm just going to click and drag. You can click multiple and drag and it'll populate. It's really that intuitive. Okay, so I guess double check. I think it's a little slow, so let's double, yeah. Oh, there it goes. Caught up with me. Okay, so I don't want this. Let me delete. I'm sure. I'm gonna delete. Okay, awesome. So here we have all of our brand logos, and now we want to add our brand palette. So we're going to click this little plus sign, and we're going to go back to our brand one pager. Let me make this a little bit bigger for you all. And I'm just going to copy the hex code. And so the hex code, when you click on the color, you go up to this color box, and you just hover, and it'll tell you the hex code. And if you want to grab that hex code, you just click on it. Click on this new color and then boom. Okay, so it is a little bit two-parter. So you click here, click on the text, the color box, and then on new color, and it'll pop this up. But I think ahead of time, if you have this all here, then you don't need to worry about it. It's just really easy to have everything on hand so you can set yourself up for success. Okay, so let me just quickly add these. All of our little guys. And so all you have to do is like double click and overwrite it. Okay, awesome. Okay, oops, I got one, so I don't want that guy, just exit. And then I believe we have one more. Actually, no, those are all of our colors. Okay, great. So our palette is complete. And now we're gonna go to brand fonts. So for LWL, we have Montserrat. So it's gonna be our header. And Canva gives you a suggested size, which is really awesome. It takes away the guessing game. Subheader, actually subheader is going to be Montserrat as well. And then you know what? I'm going to make the header Montserrat Classic. There it is. That is our real header. And so for body, we're going to use Open Sans. And so really the way that we landed on these guys is we just wanted to make sure that the typography was really easy to use, that it was approachable, and easy to read. because, so much of what we're doing is on our little screens. And so you might find a, font to be really beautiful and, very, very curly, like a curly script font. And while that's really nice to look at, once you start using it in your social media and use it in a lot of text, it's really hard for people to read. So when you are picking a brand font, just really consider, yes, it has to, be evocative of your brand, but it also has to be easy to read. Okay, and again, Canva has I want to say Canva has an app for that, but Canva has a tool for that, so you can figure out font pairing. You don't have to be an expert on fonts. Okay, all right, awesome. So we have our brand kit. So now what the heck do we do with it? Okay, so let's go back to home. And we have two ways of creating a graphic. So again, you can kind of search here, pick on Instagram story, and it'll just pop up a suggested dimensions. And so again, it takes the guessing game away. So it's going to give you 1080 by 920 when you click on it. Animated social media, it's going to be 1080 by 1080. And so you don't necessarily have to Google every time, what is the exact size for Twitter? What is the exact size for for Instagram? It'll just populate here. It's really great. And so say you have no idea what you want. A blank canvas is not going to help you. You want to find a design to start as a jumping off point. Okay. So if you scroll here, you can see, yes, there's a lot of cutesy, but there's also this basic one. So say I really like that this is simple, and I want to tailor it to my business. Okay, so say LWL, we just want really basic, webinar, Canva webinar. I'm going to use, I think this is a really good template to start with. And so what I do is I want to make sure that I'm going to save it just in case I, decide I don't want to use this. Always save it. And I'm going to go up here and name Canva webinar simple. Okay. And then before I do anything, I'm going to save it to my folder. So change the name here. If you want to save, file, drop down, save to folder, team Canva, click, and then save. Okay, so now I like the basic structure. It's not too, frou-frou, but it's also not on brand. So you don't really have to, build something from scratch to have it on brand. You just have to play around a little bit. So I'm going to delete these elements. So just click delete. I like this layout, but maybe I want it to be a little bit smaller. Okay. So I'm just going to click and drag over these elements and then make them a teeny bit smaller. And as you can see, there are these red lines that are coming up, and that's really just Canva trying to, make sure that I don't go way off the rails, right? So what this little block right here is basically telling you everything in this block is going to be, easy to read, and it's just a really good kind of basic layout that that this is going to be centered. And so another trick, as you can see, you don't necessarily have to click and drag and keep it selected to move it around. If you know that you like the way that these elements look together, you click, drag, and then group it. And then so that way it becomes one element, and you can still, if you double click on each piece, you can still, I can edit this without messing with this guy and so on and so forth. But this keeps you from accidentally, clicking on something and having it go rogue. At LWL, we use this little rocket. And oftentimes, if we do not group the elements, this rocket will be on like crazy places on the graphic. And so that may not be what you want. So grouping it and keeping things together once you have a composition is really helpful. Okay, so we like the basic composition. We want to change our colors. So we can go up here to the color panel again, and your brand palette pops up. If you want to change the font, just that little font box, and it has your recently used, but what you really want to focus on is your brand fonts. So these are all populated here. Here you have text color, which you can change again, bold, italicize, underscore, all that good stuff. You can play with the alignment. So one thing about alignment that I will say is that if you are creating a very text heavy, left aligned, left justified is best. It is just easier for read. It's better on the accessibility scale. But for this, since it's just really short and sweet, we're going to keep it center aligned. And yeah, I like this. But this image is not great. So let's go ahead. Let's change the colors, and then we're going to change the image because I do not like that. So let's go ahead and go with our green. Okay. And then I want this font for now, I want it to be our black. Okay. And then I want this to be white because I like the idea of keeping it on a dark background. Okay, great. So now the colors change, but they're not on brand. So let's quickly change that. Okay, open sans. Let's do Canva webinar. And let's go ahead and put our email here. launch.com/Canva. Okay, change this text box to a color that's on brand. All right, awesome. Okay, great. So now how do we add an image? So you have two choices. You can either upload your own image, or you can search for a really high quality stock photo. So I know that, ideally we would like to have an in-house photographer, but that is not always possible. And even though you can create really beautiful graphics on your phone, if you want a variety, this is a really good spot to go to. Okay, so say I want a webinar photo here. So you just search here, webinar. And then you can scroll through and find something that fits your brand, right? So we're here, say I want something. Yeah, see, she looks like she's learning. Okay, awesome, great. And so if I want to modify this, I can double click and I can move this around. If you want to play with the colors, you have, so just click on the element always. And then this pops up, this little adjustment. So you can have a filter. These are similar to Instagram filters. If you want to adjust the brightness, you can adjust it here. Contrast, you can play with saturation. You can change the tint, blur it. So you can do a lot of different things. I think that when you are here, so I'm going to reset it, undo all of that. When you are playing with this, just make sure that it fits with your brand. So even though my personal preference might be a little bit more pastel, I would never really use a, pastel California feature or filter with LWL. It wouldn't fit. And if I wanted to, flip it, if I want to flip it, you can do that as well. And I'll just mess with it here. Yeah, okay, great. So another thing that you can do, so I'm going to ungroup this for a second. Say I have an element here and I want it to either go forward or go behind this image, okay? So if you want to play with the element, you're going to go up to the position here and you're going to tell it to go back, forward, or all the way to the front. So as you can see, it's all the way in the front, so it's behind the text box. I want to send it backward a bit, and then you just keep kind of clicking, unless you want it to go all the way behind all of the elements, and then you'll hit to the back. And so there's another feature here too that I really like as far as position. So say you're in a hurry and you really don't want to play around with Canva's ruler and that little pink guide, you could press the align to page and it'll if you want to go top right, it'll go there, middle center, middle left, bottom left, so on and so forth. And so that's just a really fun tool, but right now I want it here. I also really like to move it on my own. And say if you wanted to, to rotate it, you can use this little rotator buddy here. You can adjust it this way. Let me make sure that that is, okay, 0, perfect. Awesome. Okay, so say you have your own graphic. No worries, all you have to do is just click and drag. And once it uploads, click on it. You can either have it here, or if you want, so once you click on it, it'll just populate wherever. So say I want to make sure that it gets into this box. I want it to be this exact same size. I don't want to mess with it. All you have to do is click and drag and then release. So just click, drag, make sure it's centered, and then release. Okay, whoop. All right, so before I show some sharing options and resizing, I just want to make sure that I get anyone's question. So I'm going to pause. Any questions here? Yep, LinkedIn-based templates. Okay, I will get to marketing emails. Okay, great. All right. So before I move on to marketing emails, let's go ahead and say I really love this and I want to share it with my team. So Canva has this really nifty little note, and I could say, Julie, please review by EOD. Save that here. As you can see, there's a little like note, or a little, indicator that someone has written there. And then I can click the share button, and I could either add Julie here, or I could share it as a template for her to edit or to view. And all you have to do is template, copy link, and then you'll be able to access it. Say I want to download it and I want it to be the best quality. I just hit download here and PNG. And so while you can use a JPEG and PDF, PNG is the highest quality image that you can possibly get. And so I think it's really important to just kind of live here. Okay, and then you can download there. Canva also has an option to publish to your social media and Google Drive. So you can connect your Google Drive. You can connect Facebook, so on and so forth. Okay, and say I want to make this an image, like an animated graphic. I want it to be a video. So you can do over here, so you can go, so we have our photos, now we have elements. And so in the elements section, you'll find everything from, Canva's featured stickers to lines. If you want to add some lines, really draw the eye, draw the user's eye somewhere, or just kind of to add some little flair. You can do that as well. Here are shapes. And so oftentimes, to create, for example, this box was just created with a shape. So I just clicked on the square, brought it in here. You can edit this down, center it, change the color. And then there, that's how you make one of those fun little text boxes. And so again, you can layer it. I want it forward. You can play with this transparency. That's going to be up here in the transparency. And this is really good if you want to layer things. You'll see LWL using this a lot. So here's a little transparency. Another thing that I want to show you is this copy style. So say I want this red. So I'm going to click on this element. I'm going to click on the little copy paste, and then I'm going to click on the part of the image that I want to be the pink. And it just does it that way. So if you like that, if it makes you more, I don't know, if it's more exciting to use a little paintbrush than copy and paste, that's a fun little option. But okay, so I'm still looking for an animated graphic though. If you are not looking for animated graphic and you want to create gradients, they're here as well, and different frames. And so say I want to, okay, so say I want something that's going to be on brand, but that's going to give a little bit of sparkle. So I want to do a star, let's see, sticker, star. Okay, so the reason why I search stickers is the animated stickers will populate to the front. So if you do star, it'll get every single star element ever. So very similar to if you were searching in Google, just be as specific as possible and they'll pop up. So let's see, say I like a little sparkle, I can put that here. I can click and modify it to size, move it around. Okay. Okay, so I have a little graphic there. So I want to copy and paste, put a little balance, move this to the side. You can also flip this, so I don't want it to be identical. I'm going to flip it around a little bit, move it that way. And then when you go to download it, you want to share it to social. You're going to want to use MP4 video. So GIF will not work in Instagram. It will give you just a static image. I learned that the hard way. You can do a GIF in Squarespace and I think Shopify as well. But for social, it's better just to do an MP4. And it will kind of, play in the same way that a GIF does. So it's just a really good, a good thing to consider. Okay, so say I really love this, but I want it to be Facebook size. Okay, so instead of creating an entirely new graphic, and building this from scratch, or even, using the template as a jumping off point, you're going to go up to resize, and you're going to pick the type of graphic that you want to create. So see Facebook cover. Let's do a Facebook post for this, and then I'll get into marketing stuff. Okay, so we're going to hit Facebook post. And if you hit resize, you are going to override this square. And so we don't want to do that because we want to optimize for each social platform. So instead of resizing this, you're going to copy and resize, and it's just going to create a Facebook size version of your graphic. And you're probably going to, have to modify it a little bit. But, this is pretty much good to go. And then you can either publish to Facebook, or you can download and implement it and, add it into your preferred social media content planner. So I really like Iconosquare. We also use Planoly. I suggest just really researching the different platforms that work for you. Okay, let's close here. So we're going to get rid of those. Actually, I did like the worst thing that you could do. I didn't save it to my folder. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I just opened it back up, and I'm going to save it to folder, Team Canva, save. Okay, phew. Now we can close that. All right, perfect. So that's Instagram, Facebook. You can again resize to LinkedIn, LinkedIn banners, LinkedIn posts, profile photos. It's a really useful way to kind of, keep the same elements in the graphic. And again, if you want to do, a consistent banner, that's a really good tool to use, is the resize. So you're not published. I do carousels from Canva. Okay, so since we're still talking about Instagram, I do want to answer this question. I would urge not to publish anything directly from Canva yet. I think that, every week Canva has a new feature, and they're always like bumping stuff up, but the publishing feature isn't necessarily, it's not necessarily, always, it's not the greatest. I'm just gonna say it. Sorry, Canva. I know I'm always singing your praises, but in this one area, I do not use, we do not use this. So if you do want to publish a carousel, just very quickly, let's go back to, I'm going to open up this one again. So say I want a carousel. I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to duplicate the page. So see that here, this is a little duplicate. And then I'm going to change my image to say I really, I want to get people really excited, and I want to show a variety of our speakers. Say Canva webinar, I want to have a photo of me and Julie. Let's pretend that this is me and this is Julie. And so you can, duplicate as many pages as you want and edit out the photo. And then if you want to do a carousel, you just download PNG and then select all pages and just make sure it's in order. And so what I like to use is Iconosquare. And so we're going to download that Iconosquare, and we also use Planoly. But the reason why I like Iconosquare is because it has a really easy interface, and it has really great PDF reports. So I can go ahead and put this in the show notes, and I'm going to keep going with show notes and explain, what I like to use. As you can see, I do social media for Amazon Aid, and it'll show you, your followers and all that good stuff. But we can talk about posts forever, or, different tools for posting. And so in order to stay on track, I'm going to take us back into Canva. Okay. And so
hey, Tish, just a quick question. You cannot use Canva though to post to a carousel directly, right?
No, you technically, okay. So what happens when you try to use the content planner, or you're trying to post something to to Instagram? It doesn't work yet. It's still buggy.
That's what I thought. So you still have to download and then kind of manually post.
Download manually and either manually post it to Instagram or to your preferred content management tool. Because I tried to do it yesterday because I was like, maybe they updated it, and it wouldn't let me click the date. So Canva is great for a lot of things. It is not yet a content management tool, but stay tuned. You never know. And I promise to update you if it starts working, because that would be really incredible if we could kind of do everything in Canva. Okay, so before I move on, I did see something about did I see something newsletter? Julie, is that correct? Do we have a newsletter question? Email templates.
Yep, email templates. I said, is there an email template for assets that you want to create for marketing emails, or is that custom based on your ESP and or template?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so there are templates here that you can use. So for example, I'm going to create a design and I want to do a newsletter. They do have templates here, and technically you can, modify these and make them look really beautiful. So say, I'm looking here, I'm a real estate business and I want to start off with this guy. And then you could of course adjust it like we did with the other things and make it personal in your brand. The problem with having just a single template like this is that not everybody who's receiving your newsletter will allow or will accept an email that's a single image. So, I think it's like Gmail doesn't allow it. Like there are a few people, there's a lot of, different email platforms that will not show the image right away. And sometimes it'll bounce back, sometimes it'll go into spam because it's showing that it's not readable. So if you want to make sure that people read your content, that they get it, they can open it, they can see it, it's not forcing them to, click twice to see on your dashboard, or it's not getting bounced back. You can use Canva in, creative and strategic ways. Julie does this a lot. So Julie, can you talk very quickly on the different graphics that you use and you pull into MailChimp?
Sure. Yeah. So what I do is I essentially create the image that I want to use for the dimensions here as like a banner or as a square. And then I pull that into either MailChimp or Klaviyo. Those are the two that that we're most familiar with or recommend. There's a lot of other ones and they're all great, but those two specifically. So in that case, it allows for kind of a more beautiful designy style newsletter, but also isn't a one image or a custom coded newsletter piece. So it brings it to life a little bit more, but not to the much more simplified version than designing fully on here. However, the templates, there's ways that you can embed or use those templates in a MailChimp or in a Klaviyo. So if you do really like the newsletter template and you want to have that consistency, or you find it easier there, I can in the follow-up put examples of how you can put that, so you're not sending out directly from like your Gmail, just that image, but you're putting that into your MailChimp or Klaviyo or newsletter provider. So we'll follow up on that in the recap notes.
In the recap notes. Okay, so awesome. All right. So before I go there, I did see something about LinkedIn, right? Incorporate more LinkedIn-based templates versus other Facebook, TikTok. Yep. And so if you did want to create a LinkedIn, they have the dimensions here as well. So let me see. But you have to search for them because you're right, like TikTok and Facebook really rule. And so here, you know, they have the right size for LinkedIn. So it's, let me see, is it similar to a square? It's a little bit bigger. And so really, you know, even though you can use Instagram's 1080 by 1080, I would suggest that you always kind of look to Canva to set up the right dimensions. Because if you are using, say you're trying to, you know, you want to use a square for a banner or for a Facebook or Twitter post, it's going to either stretch it and make it look weird, or it's going to cut off really important information. And we've learned this the hard way.
Thanks. And one other question here I thought maybe we could cover is, can you talk briefly about creating a GIF or a GIF? And while you pull that up, Tish, I just want to say that one thing we're noticing, and we've been hearing, is that video content is performing better on social, Facebook and Instagram specifically. There's something in the algorithm that's helping kind of promote those up first. So when you do create it as an animation, we're finding that it's getting quite a bit more kind of just views and engagement. So something to keep in mind. So just quickly, if we were to turn this into an animation, maybe Tish, you could show us just a real easy how you would do that.
Okay. So again, if you're going to use social, so here's a little animations here. And I want this here. And you know, I want this to be on, I'm gonna post this as a GIF, right? Okay, let me put this over here. So I'm just gonna move these elements. I just selected this guy, and then I held shift and I selected this guy, and then I copied and pasted it. So let's do that again, copy and paste. Oh, where did that little guy go? Ah, it's back here. Okay, just drag that down. Here we go. Okay, so again, you can't necessarily post a GIF to all social platforms, but one of the things you can do to make it look like a GIF, like maybe one of those fast, you know, moving GIFs, is you can come up here to this seconds, and you can speed it up. So often, let's do 1.2 here. And then I'm going to click on this again, go up here, 1.2, done. Here, 1.2, done. And so then now when I go to view it, it's going to, you know, move a lot faster. So it kind of gives the illusion of a GIF. And if you want to maybe make this, you know, longer, you want it to jump back 3 or 4 times, really all you have to do is duplicate it and then move it down and kind of just, oop, there's my Pinterest. Kind of just, you know, repeat the pattern. And so that's like a tricky way to, you know, get a GIF into, you know, a social media platform. And so if you did want to download a GIF, because you can do that in Squarespace, and there are also in MailChimp, you can upload a MailChimp. So what you would do is you'd come here to the GIF, and then you'd click the pages that you want. So say I want all pages, done, and then you download it, and it's going to come up like this. And do not be afraid, because it does look like static images. But if the platform that you're using, like MailChimp or Squarespace, is compatible with a .gif, this will work. So I'm going to pull this up. Yep, it's off screen. Let me pull it over here. And so it will look like this. And like I said, as long as the platform accepts a GIF, this will, you know, show in the same way that that video did. But if it's Instagram, you know, and there are a few other platforms, I want to double check with Facebook. I will get back to you on that. But I know for a fact that Instagram will show this as a static image unless you download it as an MP4. Okay, awesome. Well, it's 2:50. So I'm going to pause. Okay. Okay, so on the animations, do the platforms automatically classify the content as video as long as, yes, as long as it is, you know, downloaded as an MP4, it is a video. Mm-hmm. Okay, so without looking jerky. Okay, so I think the issue with a GIF is that it's always, the nature of the GIF is that it always is a little jerky. But if you, really want to make it seem seamless, again, just play with different images that maybe are in the same color palette, or, are similar compositions. So the eye isn't constantly looking everywhere. So say I really like this one and, I want to GIF that's similar. I'll go up here and I'll find something that, kind of is reminiscent of this guy up here. And so really it's just staying in the same color family, similar vibes. And so that way it kind of tricks the eye. I also think too, the little jerky, GIF motion is like, that's the look of a GIF. And so I think that your target audience will kind of just accept it for what it is. And that's, this is something that we're accustomed to. So I think, play around with them. Yeah, don't shy away from a little GIF.
Mandy asks, and maybe Tish, you have a different answer, so I'll give her mine. But Mandy says, when making videos using Canva, is it possible to add audio? So what I do is, and depending what kind of audio, if you want like voiceover, if you want just like kind of audio components. So Tish, maybe I'll actually have you answer first because you are expert.
Absolutely. Okay, so what you can do here.
And she specifies voiceover, but maybe you'll tell us both.
Yeah. So for a video, so say I want to do a video here, I'm going to delete this. I want to delete these guys. And I want to do a frame. Let's see, sorry, I'm just going to pull up the frame again. Actually, this is going to take too long. So let me go here. I want to do a video. So I'm going to pull in a video here and say I want this video to have a voiceover. If you have the voiceover file, you just drag and drop it into this audio, and then you can edit it from here. So the one thing that you do have to make sure if it's a voiceover is that it is the same length as this video. So just make sure that it adds up to, the voiceover, because you don't want your voiceover to get chopped off, because Canva will give you a limit. And if you want to add a song, like say I just want like a cool funky song here, you can come down to past the text to music, and I want happy, something happy. I like hip hop. Just drag and drop the file. Yep, just drag and drop it. And so same thing, if you're finding an audio here, you just drag and drop. And then I don't know if you can hear it, but it's playing. And if I want to edit it, I just double click, and then I'm going to tell Canva which section I want to use. And so Canva will match up the length of the song to the length of your video. And if you want to play with the volume, just come here and adjust it similarly in the same way that you would with transparency. Yeah. And so Julie, do you have any other tricks besides this?
Nope, that's it. And I either record the voiceover, frankly, on a cell phone or via iMovie.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, created an image, then found something else that I liked. How do I take the second? Okay, so follow up. So you say you like this image, so you create an image that you like, and then you found something else. Okay, got it. Okay, so say I really love this guy, and I want to create a new graphic with an ad underneath without having separate ones. Okay, maybe, I guess I don't understand this question.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time too. I would say that I would normally just say duplicate, and then you'd have two different ones.
Yeah, and then you can edit it. Or
and then you can always delete the others.
Yeah, you can add a page, and if you want to change a template, you can find one here and say, I really want a quote, and then you just click on it and it populates, and then you can adjust this, in the way that fits your brand. Yeah. Okay, so frames really quickly. Okay, I really love this one in particular. So this is a webinar. So I have this little laptop frame. So we're going to go back over here. Let's click this. So I don't want to quote necessarily. Yes, that was it. Okay. Okay, great. Awesome. Okay. So for frames, so again, you have this little panel. It's going to be under elements. So click on frames and you really just pick whichever one, you know, if you are really fun and cheeky and you want this little guy, click on it. You can adjust it to, you know, center to the right if you want to have some text. Really just play along with it. I think that when you are composing something, you just make sure that the focal point is, you know, that the focal point is the star. So if it's an image, you either want it to be separate or you want to have the text and things kind of, you know, leading the eye to the focal point. Okay, so while I like that, I really love this little guy. So I'm going to put this here. I'm going to change the size. And then you can pull in, I want it to be exactly centered. And then you can pull in either an image and you just, again, you click on the image. If it puts it here, that's okay. You can move it around and just make sure that it populates in there. Or you can, oops, I got rid of it. Where'd you go, buddy? There it is. Okay, there we go. And so frames, there's also grids. So if you want to have like a little, you know, like mood board type style, you'll go up to grids. And then you can see they have, you know, so many different options. You could have a two-parter where you just add it here. And then you can add two different images here. Just click and drag. Yeah, and there's just really endless opportunities to play and discover things. And so I just really encourage you to spend as much time as you can in Canva because it'll just become more and more intuitive. That's a really good question on brand photos. I do not think that is there yet. That would be really amazing. But what it does show you is well, go ahead, Julie.
Yeah, I'm just going to give my pro tip here. They're pulling into Unsplash. If you already use, if you don't use Unsplash, I love Unsplash. It's all free photos. And what you can do there is pull in, like just start to find the photos that you like, make a couple folders based on kind of like what you're looking for. And then unfortunately, again, they don't kind of pull in, but there you can just maybe have like a list of all of the different photos you love that you kind of want to use for future inspiration.
Yeah, that are on brand.
Yeah.
So for example, here is I have collections.
Yep.
And so I have this background and then you just, you know, save them into your little collection. So say this is your business collection, you download it. And then you go to Canva, and then you just drag and drop, and then that'll populate.
Yeah, so a bit of a 1-2 step there right now, but great suggestion for their team.
yeah, I know. Like I want that feature.
Amy asked, are you using these templates mainly for social? You've created any print pieces. Amy, I'll just respond on our side. I use Canva for their presentations now, I find are really helpful. As well. So like even, you know, for us, we're doing either like overview presentations or, you know, even business presentations. They have really good just templates that are helpful to see and organize information, marketing presentations, team presentations, et cetera. So that's one piece. We obviously use it for social. We are also using for any kind of flyers as well. And then further, we have done print pieces. They turned out beautiful. We did kind of just like thank you postcards and then inserts into LWL swag bags that we did for the summit, and they really turned out above my expectations. We previously used moo.com, which is also a phenomenal platform, but I think I will be moving towards Canva now just because it's easier print process, and their pricing was great.
Definitely. And so if you see here, they have, I clicked on a postcard template. It's hold on, the little rainbow. So I clicked on a postcard template. And again, you know, you can, it will take a little bit of time in the beginning to find templates that fit your business. But once you do, you'll have them there readily available. And so say this is, oh, this little guy, my little rainbow won't let me show you all of the printing options, but trust Julie. Oh, there we go. Trust Julie. It's really easy to use.
Just to follow up on the question, I'm using primarily Canva over Keynote. And just because I find that the sharing now is easy, the note process is easy, and the download a PDF, because I prefer to send everything via a PDF, both for security and kind of just less email issues. So now that everything, like our brand guidelines are all in there and everything is easy, I'm finding it much easier. I've shifted out of Keynote last year primarily to do most of it all in either, all in Canva and or Google Docs if it's requires a lot more sharing capabilities. Okay, I think we're getting to the end here. So I'm going to just say any last minute questions pop up on the Q&A. So we'll give just 1 minute to check in. Otherwise, I hope this was helpful. If you have feedback, please let us know. We'd love to hear it. And if you want more of these or more design, more advanced, etc., please shoot us a note at hello@ladieswholaunch.org. We again, all this feedback just helps us make these even better. So if you do need any or other follow-up, please just hit us up there. Otherwise, let us know what you create. We'd love to see it. So just tag us at LWL Global so we can send you all the love and see what you're designing. And we just wish you the best of luck. So go have fun. We're finding a lot of fun just designing and building and doing all these things here because it's great to bring your brand to life. So again, thank you, Tish. You are just a creative rock star. Go forth and have the best rest of your afternoon. We can't wait to see what you guys create.
Yes, I'm going to leave you with one quote. A year from now, you'll be glad you started today. So again, we're not using, anyone else but the inside LWL team. It's all us, and we are just playing and having fun with our brand. Thank you.
Amazing. All right, you guys have fun, and we'll talk to you real soon. Take care.